Gather around witches, warlocks, sorceresses and sorceresses, Catholics and Christians and all others who wish to partake. Gather, my friends, and sit a spell, as I weave a tale, one of fright and pain and loss. I shall name this simply the letter. If you would, my dear, please commence.
This is my warning. On the morning of February 16th, I woke to my alarm prompting me to wake for work. The morning air was crisped as I passed blocks of homes, riding safely in my Honda. I made my way towards the Jameson engineering firm, where I am the lead programmer. I entered the building as I usually do, with a security passcode in my hand. The door bleeped, its welcoming notification that I was permitted to enter the building. I moved quickly to the elevator doors and positioned myself in line behind a group of other early morning employees. My turn had come to enter the lift, which would bring me to the 6th floor. There I would find my trusty office chair. On the desk would be my computer monitor, ready and willing to accept the code which would one day be used to better the world. Yet when the elevator doors opened, the view of my desk was blocked. A group of fellow engineers talked and engaged with someone sitting at the desk in front of mine. It was that day when I saw her for the first time. She was new to the company. Long blonde hair, work dress attire, and deep green eyes. I raised my hand to welcome her and proceeded to get to work. I'm not sure how to describe this next part. I'm not religious, spiritual, or anything like that. Still, I had a strong desire to be around Kayla for some reason. That was her name, Kayla. Almost 3 months later, I accidentally ran into her while out running errands. We ended up having dinner together. After a few drinks, our conversation led to religion, spiritual journeys, and finally witchcraft. That day I learned that she only used her name Kayla for social reasons, yet referred to herself as Lilith. I found that quite odd. Our conversation led long into the evening. We said our goodbyes. The next day, I arrived at the office early to find that Kayla was no longer working for the company. I inquired about her reason and leaving, but did not get many details. After finishing work, I noticed a note on my car's windshield. It said, "Meet me tonight at 3546 North Worth Drive at 10 p.m. Love, Kayla." I have to say, I was a bit creeped out. But my curiosity was more substantial than my creeped out self. It took me 30 minutes to arrive at the address on the note. I have to admit I was nervous yet energized at the same time. The house at 3546 North Worth Drive was large and had one of those winding driveways that ended at the front door. I stepped out of my car. The house was completely dark, with no light shining from any windows. It was only then that I noticed the front door was ajar. I slowly walked in, calling out Kayla's name, then started a quick retreat to the outside as I began to feel an office prank coming on. Feeling foolish, I started my retreat back to my vehicle. But it wasn't the vehicle that my eyes first noticed. It was Kayla, or something that looked like Kayla. Her hair was blowing backward in slow motion as if an invisible wind was somehow only affecting her. She offered me a hand, which I felt powerless to resist. With her other hand, she extended it to my chest, where a searing, burning pain dropped me to my knees. Her hold on my hand was like an iron grip. Although I tried, I could not pull away. I can't say if I was standing before her for a minute, 5 minutes, or hours. All I know is she had released me at some point and stepped back a few feet, her hair still moving in that unnaturally slow motion. At that point I blacked out. What awoke me was the pain in my chest. I pulled my shirt back to see the letter L burned into my skin, red and swollen. At my feet was a short and straightforward letter that read, "I am Lilith. My power is yours, as your power is mine." Perhaps it was just a dream or something else, but the house I walked into the night before was no longer there. I awoke lying in a clearing, My car was there, as well as the road I drove up, but everything looked uncared for and older. None of that made sense initially, and I never saw her after that. Well, I never saw her in the physical sense. It began as a dream and became real with each passing night. She came at night in my dreams. It was in the darkness that Lilith and I travelled. Together we moved through unknown realms and magical places. She taught me things, and I learned. Although I've tried, I can't remember who I was before meeting her. Those memories have left me, lost somewhere in the ether. All I am now is Lilith. All I know now is Lilith. We are Lilith. To the reader of this letter, know that I tried to resist her. The more I fought her, the more lost I became. Don't waste your time calling the police to report me missing. Don't search for me here. You will not find me. I am with Lilith now, eternal, a traveller, a whisper.
And so, my friends, as you can see, it is better to come to Lilith with your cup full, instead of your cup empty, as she may fill your cup with her own desires, her own wants and needs, and perhaps you too will walk the rounds for all eternity by Lilith's side. This has been a series of witches.